Bloody Mary
Welcome to the Bloody Mary podcast, where we talk about all things horror while drinking a Bloody Mary. I'm Jesse.
And I'm Tami, and we are totally married. We got our Bloody Marys, and tonight we are reviewing Scream 6 with special guest Shaun Springer. Woo!
Yeah, back again.
I'm back, baby.
So we're going to be doing a spoiler-free review, and then we will jump into spoiler talk. So if you're worried about Scream 6 being spoiled, we're not going to do it off the bat. We'll let you know when spoilers come in.
Yeah,
So,
we'll let you know so you can pause the video, go see the movie, come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, we're going to do an award ceremony.
We are.
Based on our previous podcast theories. After we give our spoiler talk, we'll break and come back and do an award ceremony.
Yeah. if you guys care to stick around to see who
To
wins.
see who got the most points based on our guesses.
Yes.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. Merchandise. We have stuff. Go to www.bloodiedmarypodcast.com. We have an Amazon wish list with some stuff on there. And there's merch.
Yeah. Check us out.
I'm just excited to talk about this movie.
We just came from the theaters, so.
Literally just drove in.
Came
Yeah.
from a Thursday night premiere. I haven't talked about it at all.
Right.
Aside from maybe one thing. So spoiler-free stuff. Here we go. What
right.
did you guys just think in general? Did you love it? It was okay? Sucks ass? Somewhere in the middle there? Sean, special guest?
Yeah, special guest.
First.
You go
I go first. I get to set the thing. I loved it.
Mhm.
I mean, I really liked it. I want to watch it again. And like right away, maybe even more than Scream 5.
Yeah.
Only because like there's kind of a lot more happening in this movie in a good way. And yeah, I really loved it. Yeah.
Yeah. What about you?
Same.
Yeah.
And I agree. And you know why I like it a little more? I feel like the girl that played Samantha gave a better performance this time too than in 5. And
I
so
agree with that for sure.
she was she emoted. There's more, going on behind the eyes.
Yeah.
But I loved it. So
Yeah.
What did you think?
The heat's on.
The heat's on. I loved it too, but I don't know if I loved it more than Scream 5.
Okay.
I think currently, I mean, it's still fresh. I love them both the same for different reasons. Yeah.
I watched Scream 5 last night.
Yeah.
So it was a perfect way to kind of roll into this. They're definitely they're perfect companions to each other. It's no longer just about this is chapter 5 and 6. This is really kind of its own thing in a way. That's maybe the best thing I can say about this new one.
Yeah.
I really think it did break free of like maybe the legacy story in a good way.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think they're going more towards making it their own thing for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to have, of course, Courtney Cox is there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's still Scream. I think
It's going to be hard to not do spoilers.
It's going to be so hard, guys.
So what worked is like it's another a Scream film, right?
Yeah.
That's it. It doesn't go outside of the realm of what you think it's going to be.
It's another Scream film that's elevated, I would say, in the same way that Scream 2 was elevated over Scream 1. I love Scream 2. I think Scream 2 is just like a perfect movie, as perfect as like Scream, the original Scream.
Well, that's a bold statement.
That is a bold statement, sir.
No, I really
disagree with that.
I really like it. I think this is just a strong entry. I think the filmmaking is better than Scream 5. I think they had some opportunities to really play off just doing something different. It's kind of what we wanted them to do with Scream 5, or at least I did.
Yeah.
And it's not that they didn't do that, but they just didn't really break the mold. And while they don't break the mold on this one, it's just a little different, a little fun.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like a copy of previous sequels. There is the one thing about all the Scream sequels is they're all kind of the same exact thing.
Yeah.
And that's why I want to see this one again, because there's a little bit of break in the mold, but it takes it maybe a step further than maybe any of the other sequels did. And it's also just a ton of fun.
Yeah.
It was a ton of fun.
Yeah. If there's anything to say about this one, it's just super entertaining and fun to watch, which is, good. That's what you want in these movies, right?
I think they took a lot of time with not just like the new legacy characters, the 4 survivors of Scream 5, but I really liked the new cast a lot more than previous kind of new casts.
Yeah.
Even the people who kind of come and go, the new friends that they have introduced. I liked them a lot more than even just some of the people like in Scream 5, Amber.
Yeah.
And them, and
Yeah. I mean, because well, now as an audience, we're more connected to the characters that were in that one, and we've survived with them for this next chapter.
Right.
So there's more of a connection there for sure.
I do like how they kind of, because we talked about, we do have our legacy characters, but they also, when bringing in Scream 5, you're bringing in you're bringing in the new final girl, you're bringing in those things, and then kind of like, but are we gonna like really like them moving forward, because that they're the new, I mean, we'll always have the super legacy, the OGs, but like this is ushering in the new generation for this franchise, right?
Well, and one thing we've mentioned on previous Scream podcasts, and I've been fortunate to be on all the Scream episodes, because it's
you're the Scream guy.
It's not just my favorite like horror franchise, it's like maybe like one of my favorite film franchise, like period.
Yeah.
I think maybe the one flaw with Scream 4 was we just never, I personally just never really connected to the new cast as much as I did with the Scream 5 cast and now the Scream 6 cast.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I'd think, in the world of the Scream franchise, 4 floats around as being, sometimes it's my least favorite.
Yeah.
Sometimes another one is, but it's down there. But they're still fun. Yeah.
I watched 4 again last night as well, and I think where it's really strong is in the ending. And I think I texted you about this morning. There's a world where if we had gotten a Scream 5 right after Scream 4, it would have been cool, because Scream 4 ends like on a really like baller ending.
It does.
It literally just ends with like everybody talking about Jill.
Yeah.
And like it's just like, then like a shot of Jill just dead or maybe dead. And then essentially you never hear about her again.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'd be really curious to know like what they had planned after that. But this isn't a spoiler, but when the first, like the opening act of the film, what opens for the title, I was worried for a second. I was like, oh, are they gonna go this way with this film? But then they didn't. Then the title screen hit, but there was a moment like, oh, don't do this. Don't do this. And then something happened, which we'll talk about, I guess, in
Yeah.
No, I like that it opens in a way that you expect, but then it changes.
Yes.
And you're kind of taken on a little bit of a different journey that we've never seen before.
Right. This is kind of a new opening for this franchise.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
And new in a way that Scream 4's opening does not hold up.
Yeah.
It was really fun in the theaters. Like it was the fake out endings.
Right.
It was Scream Inception.
Oh, right.
It was fake out.
Yeah.
Rewatching that didn't age well. I remember being in theaters and just thinking like, oh my gosh, this is so good. They really pulled one over on the audience, but not, it just hasn't aged well, the Scream 4 opening.
Yeah.
But this one, like I they were able to do something different, but also just be in the same tone and really kind of grab you. I was really grabbed right away as to like, what is the story of this film now?
Right.
That was really cool.
That was cool, because you're like, wait, is it going to go down? Okay, no.
Yeah.
But is it? Oh, okay. Yeah. No, I really, and I like that. We get the rules again, but we get the franchise.
Yeah.
It's a franchise now.
You also get a good half hour of just being after the opening, kind of like shocking opening stuff. Like you get a good half hour of just spending time with the new characters or the Scream 4 characters. Scream 5
it didn't feel like a chore either, right?
Oh, no.
Because there was like maybe like a beat or two in Scream 5 where some of the dialogue, I think you said, sounded like a little soap opera at times, and it didn't really hear that. I think the cast and the acting was overall stronger in this one than 5.
I think it was definitely stronger.
Yeah.
Scream 5 had a lot of, and it was better than this, but it had a lot of the exposition where they had to have the two characters sit down and say, Tara, I'm your sister. You remember when mom said this and this?
Yeah.
That's always like, it was done better than that, but that's like the worst cliche is when you have to introduce a character and kind of like bring people up to speed where they're at. They always grab someone and they're like, Jesse, you're my brother. You know when mom and dad died in that car accident, I promised them I'd take care of you. And I'm not going to let that stop right now.
Oh, Shaun, just let me be my own man.
Yeah. You're only 18 years old, Jesse. You know I'm only 3 days from retirement.
You're only 15, John.
Yeah. So, but all the stuff between the core cast was better than Scream 5.
Yeah.
Again, not taking anything away from Scream 5, but I immediately liked the new characters because you're introduced to like 3 or 4
a couple new
characters
ones
right away, and you're just excuse me, I'm falling apart here today.
It's all right.
No, like you're introduced to these new characters, and you know, like who's gonna be, like you start thinking like who's gonna be the killer. You start like figuring everybody out, but it's enjoyable.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I liked a lot of the kills were super fun, well done. What'd you guys think of like how it wrapped up, like the ending? I think that was the only thing for me, is because even like before the movie, we sat down and I told you what I thought the plot was going to be.
Right.
And that's what it was. So like, I kind of like, I called it and I went like, it's what happened. There was a few other things.
Right.
So just for me, that was a little, well, I wanted a little bit more. But that's just me. You know, it was really fun to watch.
We've talked a lot, but we also did our predictions podcast on a previous episode. And I don't remember if we had talked about this or it had been a previous prediction, but we talked about similar things too, maybe between all of us.
Yeah.
So there was a little bit of maybe, I don't know. It felt, gosh, it's a spoiler to say what it felt like.
Yeah.
Because it felt like another reveal in a lot of ways, but not in a bad way. It was still very fun. I think the lead up to everything was still good.
Yeah.
Was still so good that kind of the final set pieces of the film are maybe they're better than the reveal. And that makes any kind of like problems with the reveal. Not that there's problems.
Yeah,
but
no,
that makes any
there
issues with the reveal.
Yeah,
like
I still really liked it.
Yeah, not
right.
as important.
Yeah. No, the whole final act was a blast.
It was a blast. It was a
blood-soaked blast.
Yeah. It was.
Yeah.
And they continue to have like the most brutal kills in the series.
Yeah.
Like even rewatching Scream 5, like that is these two are the most brutal entries in the series by far. Just and it's really like, how many times can you make a knife going in someone's gut interesting? They do it.
They do.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah. And a really great sound design, I thought. I paid it like the gore sound design, the knife sound design. It's all really cool.
Yeah.
Well, we got cool cups from the theater.
We did get cool cups from the theaters, guys.
I need to go back. I am going to go see this again, and I want to see it in 3D just for fun, just because this will be the first Scream film in 3D.
We were talking about this, like we watched it and I was like, I don't think anything of this was shot like in 3D. There's nothing that stood out. So it's just post.
It's really just post. It's really just like a cash gimmick because all the theaters are still like Avatar kind of reinvigorated 3D.
I don't really like 3D.
I do want to see it again. Maybe we'll just see it in the Dolby theater next time.
We'll definitely see it again.
Or catch it at the Garland when it comes.
Yeah.
Small theater.
I want to see it. I want to see it like right away.
I know. I was like, no, I want to see it again.
Well, do you guys want to talk about anything else before we get into spoilers, or you want to rate it? Do you want to rate it before we get into our spoilers? 1 out of 10 Bloody Marys.
10 Bloody Marys. Oh, wow. Now the pressure's on.
Yeah.
Pressure is on.
Did we give everybody a good enough tease? I think so.
Yeah.
I think we're going to have more fun talking about spoilers, to be honest.
For sure.
We are.
I just think, if you're a fan of the Scream franchise, you'll enjoy it.
You'll enjoy it
and
a
you're going to
lot.
see it the opening weekend. If you're watching this, just go see it and then come back and listen to the rest of it.
Yeah. And if you're a fan of horror, watch it too. I mean, so is this one that you need to see the rest? Like, I'm trying to think, like, can you just jump into this and not have seen any others?
No.
Yeah.
I mean,
not really. You would lose so much.
It's entertaining. Well, maybe. You know what? Actually, that's an interesting question.
Yeah.
And this is all stream of conscious with me, but what's funny about this one is this one's just thoroughly entertaining. I would say in the same way that even Scream 2 and Scream 3 are. So if you know the basic concept, I don't think everything else matters. Scream 5 is so connected to Scream 1 that maybe this and I'd say maybe Scream 3 are just kind of like, if you just know there's a killer and a lot of twists and turns, you could probably like have this on and just watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still enjoyable. I agree. Like 5, you really kind of needed to know
one
and like really the whole franchise, but one specifically. But this one you could like hop in and it's entertaining.
I think it would, if you hadn't seen the rest and you saw this, it would make you want to go back and watch them if you liked it.
Yeah.
This one, actually, there were moments that felt like a police procedural drama.
Which I love.
Yeah. Like there was a couple of moments where they're at like a police station where I was kind of like, like this could just be like Law and Order.
That was like, I don't know, one of my enjoyable beats of the film for me. You know, you can watch, like when I was a kid, the first Friday the 13th I saw was part 7.
Yeah.
And then I just jumped all around and like watched him. I think the first like Nightmare on Elm Street I saw was part 2.
Same, yeah.
And so you can jump in.
I think, you get the basic idea, I think, for the most part.
Well, you know, I'm going to give this one a solid 8 out of 10.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's solid 8 Bloody Marys out of 10. And we'll see. Maybe the score will go up or go down, but it's a good 8. I don't
remember if we rated 5, did we?
I don't think we did.
I don't know. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, we're rating 6.
Okay, here we go.
Shaun, let's go.
Oh my God. The pressure's on.
First initial watch.
First initial watch. I'm gonna say a 9.
9,
but and that could go up or down a point, maybe. I don't with rewatches and stuff.
Same.
I agree with you. I think a 9. I think it was just a lot of fun.
Yeah,
it was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
and Jenna Ortega is so little and sweet.
She is.
This was.
Is she?
Yeah,
she totally is little and sweet.
Well, rewatching. So I had never seen her in anything before Scream 5. So. That was my only exposure to her. And then I saw X. Where she's like sexy and like all this stuff. And then I watched Wednesday where she's supposed to be like 14 years old or something.
She's a chameleon.
All of a sudden I felt like, oh my God, like she's like a tiny little child.
Right.
And then I rewatched Scream 5. And again, she's like half the size of like the next biggest cast member.
Oh yeah.
In this franchise. And I just want to protect her so much. I don't want her hurt.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, anyways,
she gets a 10 out of 10.
Yes.
Yeah. She's always
protect her. Protect Jenna Ortega wherever she is.
Sweet face.
We have to jump into spoilers.
We have to.
Okay,
We've been dying to talk about this.
Spoiler warning. We're going to get into spoiling Scream 6.
Pause it and go watch it and then come back.
Because we're going to talk about Dewey being a ghost.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to start off the spoilers with, I called it again.
You did call it.
Oh, dude, that was amazing.
I called the killer again just from casting.
Yeah.
I will say when
pat on the back.
In the beginning, when they're like college, university, I looked at him and I was like, Tami 1 point.
Yeah, because she they're all in college.
I was like, they're all in college.
There's no way they're there for college, and then they're all fucking in college.
Absolutely fucking there for college.
And I love that they just straight up called out that the second Stab movie was all in college, and there was references, and there's the Omega Beta Zeta fraternity, which was the fraternity from Scream 2 as well.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
Samara Weaving, Drew Barrymore.
Yeah. I think that was in our predictions.
It seemed too easy, which was unfortunate, but I thought they were going to do something different as that opening kill started, and they ultimately did. But I don't know. I wasn't sure what they were going to do with her. But she gets gutted, and then
there was the reveal of the Ghostface takes his mask off right away.
Yeah. Right, and then
so I was like, oh, is this going to be a movie where we know who the killer is the whole time? Yeah. That's what I was worried about. I'm like, oh, I don't like that. But then he becomes the next victim.
Yeah.
Which I love.
That was really cool. Well, because what was the coolest thing about it is he kills him and then he has to like wipe off his knife and like take his Ghostface thing off, pack it into his backpack, and then like you kind of follow him back home.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it's just like Ghostface at college, the college years.
Ghostface the college years.
Even before he took his mask off, I recognized his voice, the actor.
Oh, really?
Because I knew he was in there. I'm like, oh, this is that guy.
Sure,
he better not be the killer. And then they take the mask off. I'm like, oh, what's going on here?
Right. I love that he opened the fridge and his friend was in pieces in the refrigerator.
Oh yeah, that was nice. Yeah. That was Friday the 13th part 2, which she says is her favorite. The meat says her because she opens it up and sees.
And aren't they watching Jason Takes Manhattan on
TV?
They are.
That was the best
that was rad.
We hit more predictions in the first like maybe 20 minutes of this film than we did for all of Scream 5.
That's funny.
So it'll be funny.
Well, the world was set with 5 with these directors, right?
Yeah.
So
it was still fun, even though we were like, called it. called it.
Yeah.
It was still fun.
Yeah.
And as much as I would have liked to see her more in the movie, it was kind of fun that they drew Barrymore her.
But what you said about the main character, I forget her name.
Sam.
Yeah, her acting was tenfold better in this, I thought.
Sure.
I thought.
I think also we might have been a little harder on her, just even doing the rewatch.
Yeah.
She was fine. I felt if you go back and rewatch it, then I think it's Melissa Barrett, or however you say her last name.
But she was badass in this.
She was super
cool,
like she was badass. She was badass in 5.
And they've set it up for there's like Jesse had said, there might be a darker path ahead.
Yeah,
which
is really cool.
I really
hope that they lean into this is a villain's journey. It could be.
Yeah.
The first time Billy pops up, it was a little comedic, wasn't it?
It was.
It's like, you want to kill some motherfuckers, don't you? It was something like that.
That was the best. Yeah.
It was like, want it. We've been waiting for this.
We gotta go stab them all.
Yeah.
And they bring up the theory that Stu's still alive.
Oh, a couple times. In the board you're talking about, there's a question mark by his face.
Oh, yeah.
And then
someone straight up says like, "Oh, are you one of the people who thinks Stu is still alive?"
Yeah.
Doesn't Kirby say it? Does Kirby say it to
I can't remember.
To Mindy, I think.
Yeah.
When they're talking about their movies and stuff.
They could be dropping little hints for 7.
I think they have to.
And there was a question mark. We have to go back for a second. I could have swore there was a question mark on the police board, which I love that scene. I love that they were going through the killers and by Mickey.
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't.
Yeah, but he was wasn't he shot straight in the head?
He was shot in the head.
Yeah, he was shot in the head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think
maybe
he
the
came back
question
from
was
that.
maybe there's a connection to him or something.
Yeah. I'm sure people on Reddit have already screen capped that, and it's going to be
deconstructed. It's already on someone's wall. They've printed it out, and they're
because in Scream 5 they had the Easter egg of Kirby still being alive.
Right, in the newspaper.
That was on a
cool.
YouTube page.
Yeah.
There was a whole video about it. Yeah.
Well, what did you guys think? Oh, sorry. Well, what did you think of the setting of New York as opposed to Woodsboro or California? What did you think of New York?
I thought it was fun because you could add in more people, like the subway scene was it was really cool because they're trapped in the Mindy and Ethan, what's his name, were in a different car, but and it's Halloween, there's Ghostface masks everywhere because people are like, oh, people got killed again, gotta go buy fucking Ghostface masks.
Yeah.
And they're all just it gets dark and they're like, oh fuck. That was good tension moment that you couldn't have gotten in Woodsboro in California.
They were able to mix things up. I mean, even one of the sequences that was really cool was just having the 2 apartments across from each other.
Oh, that was good.
They established that the hot guy's across the street, or even just across the way, windows across the way, and then that ends up being a fantastic set piece for later.
Definitely,
they couldn't have done that in without having the New York setting. They didn't necessarily totally embrace it. I think there could have been more set pieces and stuff. They have because it wasn't filmed in New York. They have a scene that's kind of in Central Park. And then they kind of do the subway, which the subway is like a standout scene, but I don't think they really embrace it too much.
No, it was
aside from people just always being like, we're in New York.
It was Jason Takes Manhattan-ish in that respect, because I don't think any of the New York things we thought were going to happen. There was no rat jump.
I was hoping
there was
for that
there was
so much.
no Times Square.
Yeah.
Right.
And there's a few other things, but they didn't do Times Square.
Yeah.
They weren't fighting on the Statue of Liberty.
Right.
Yeah.
There's no Ninja Turtles popping out.
Had they actually filmed in New York, I think they would have taken advantage of that more. They would have had more things set up in certain areas. So.
Right.
But they did establish, with how close those apartments were.
Yeah.
They're really close together.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And, you got city streets and all that stuff. And I think the last shot, digital city, but it still looked really cool.
Oh yeah. There was a couple of things where in the background they would have New York, I think there was the One World Trade Tower and stuff like that in the background.
Yeah. But it didn't take anything away from it for me. Yeah. I thought it was a lot of fun.
I mean, even just taking the characters out of Woodsboro is good. So now it's what do they do for the next one? Is it again return to Woodsboro, or does it start a road, it's Scream on road on the road where they go to San Francisco, they go then go to the Alamo.
Well, I mean, if they get Sydney back, they start with her. All right. So what was her? So Courtney Cox said a line where Sydney heard the news and she grabbed her family and
went somewhere safe.
She went they're in hiding. They went somewhere safe.
Yeah.
So that's
I do like, and again, this will be a fun thing on the rewatch, but and they don't talk about it as much in the movie, but the whole movie starts with these guys who are already going to like continue the legacy of Richie now.
Yeah.
Right.
And then essentially this new Ghostface is coming in and like just puts a stop to all their plans. That was a fun twist.
It was.
That was a fun twist. Yeah. Like, we're trying to finish this movie. And they're like, oh, out.
Yeah.
Because it's like, that's what's going to continue to happen.
Yeah.
But like for the rest of all these characters' lives. So Courtney Cox has one line, which is kind of a throwaway. And it's a throwaway for this film, but if we never get Sydney to come back, it's a bad send off where she just says, Sydney deserves her happy ending.
Yeah.
Which I like from a character standpoint, but it's just a way to just say like, oh, we wrote her out.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But how do they not bring her back for another one at some point?
Yeah, they would have to. And I guess we didn't stay post credits, so there could be a telephone scene where Nev picks up. Yeah. We don't know. So that's one thing we didn't do. If there's something after credits, we didn't catch it, but we'll catch it soon.
So I do like the core four.
Yeah.
Core four.
That was fun.
was fun.
Core four, parkour.
One of the best things, I think it's like a legacy thing with Wes Craven. He always takes the time to really build up the characters. And just being honest, like there's some movies where maybe the actors aren't that good. Yeah. But in a lesser film that we recently watched, My Soul to Take.
Yeah.
Because Jesse let me borrow that.
Wes Craven gem.
Yeah. Even though it's not that good of a film, the kids are all great. And I think Wes Craven's strength was always take time to really bond the characters where it's not just about plot. Yeah. Because that's what I always think is the flaws for Scream 3 and 4 is the characters are only there to be red herrings for the final battle.
Cannon fodder.
Yeah, this one you really, were able to spend some time to care about all the characters.
Well, and
to just see their rapport.
Yeah, well, I like that we get to see like, okay, they survived this and kind of like how each of them are dealing with it too. We get that half hour where it's like, Sam is like dealing with it in her way, which is different because people think she's the killer. And then, Tara's just like, I'm just living life. Fuck off. I'm not going to do, and then the twins are like kind of doing that, but also like,
they're floating in the middle.
They're floating in the middle. I love the twins. I think they are so fucking funny.
That they lived is ridiculous, or that he lived. It's so great. He's the new Dewey now, right? Yeah. Living that way. He should be dead. So
well, and we've also gotten a little like love thing going on between Tara and Chad.
I know.
Which is fantastic.
I would just like to say 50 Cent got stabbed 11 times and he survived, so Chad can survive. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
One thing I liked too, like in the beginning, there was like this animosity between the sisters where she was like, "Get out of my life, blah blah blah, get your own." But that was quickly like stopped. Like then like Ghostface jumped in, and that didn't go. I was worried that was going to go for a lot of the film, but it just stopped right away. And they're like, "Oh no, we're sisters. We're in this together." I like that a lot.
Right. I think because Tara was like, "Oh yeah." There's probably a reason why she's like, you're just being, we moved to New York. And then like it happens and she's like, pack your bags, we're fucking going. She's like, we're not going. And they're like, oh fuck, we should probably go.
Well, it does kind of play against the trope of you always have to have the characters have their little split so that they can come back together at the end. So like, they set that up and then it's like, no, we're just together. And now we're going to like trap Ghostface.
I really like that. I like that a lot. When you guys were watching it, were you like kind of just along for the ride, or were you thinking about who the killer would be as you were watching it? Like, did you have a prediction through it? Like, oh, I think it's this person. Because mine the whole time was Delmont Mulberries.
Dermot.
and it was. And
Delmont Mulberries.
Yeah. And then like when the roommate.
Delbert.
When the roommate, his daughter died, I'm like, that she's not dead. We didn't see her die. That was just another Billy Nev moment.
Well, they did a weird thing where, and I forget her name, but the roommate
Quinn
was it
Quinn? I think
Quinn. Was that what it was?
I think it's Quinn.
We're
calling her Quinn.
Well, the police officer's daughter dies.
Yeah.
But a little bit before that, that character says, "Oh, well, ever since my brother died, my dad's been so distant." Blah blah.
Yeah.
And I just kept thinking, "Oh, is that Richie?"
Yeah.
I thought there'd be this weird like twist, and then it's like, and then it wasn't, but then it was.
Yeah.
And that was kind of a fun twist too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always fun. Like there were more mask reveals in this one. There was your opening one, and then there was the son and the daughter.
I was so happy to see two Ghostface at the same time. Like
that was
fighting, like standing off.
That was cool. Oh, were you talking about when
Chad's getting sliced and diced?
The coolest part when they both
at the same time.
At the same time. That was dope.
And then the reveal that there was a third was fun because you're watching as kind of the chasing is happening. You're like, wait, how are all those Ghostface in like the same place at the same time? Because I just saw two, and then another one's coming out from behind the screen. I would, in my mind, and we had talked about both, I think on and off the podcast, was like the Ghostface cult. I was thinking
there was a moment where I was like, oh shit.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. I thought that whole theater was going to fill with Ghostface and they were all just going to take off their mask and it was going to be everybody. But that was the reveal that they did a really good job, like having the three without it feeling like, oh, well, the last one had two. Now this one has three. Like it made sense. And going back to the parent getting revenge for the kid being killed.
Yeah.
That's all what Scream 2 was. That was
for sure. Yeah.
It worked.
Yeah. Well, I was, telling her, I think we've never seen a father get revenge for.
We haven't.
And now we have. I was like, before we get in the theater, I'm like, it's that.
Did you call the brother, the Ethan being one of the killers though?
I don't know if I
did you already not call it, but like, did you think when like during the film, Quinn, you're like, well, maybe, but like, did you expect him to be it too?
I didn't. But you know what's funny is it then makes you wonder. So he was on the brother was on the subway with Mindy when she got stabbed. And then didn't he help her off the subway?
He did.
Yeah.
But Quinn is the one that stabbed her. His sister stabbed her.
So they were both on there.
Okay, yeah.
Well, there's a moment in that too
it's
where
weird that he wouldn't have just like left her for dead though. But
he was still playing the.
No, that's true.
He's still got to play his game.
That is weird that he didn't just leave her there.
I think we might have had a prediction of a character previously thought dead is one of the killers.
Yeah.
So I should get a half point on that.
When we tally our points.
Because technically, I mean, I think when I made that prediction it was more like Stu or something coming back, or Jill coming back. But I think it still counts.
So what did you guys think about Kirby coming back? Like Kirby's character and like her reintroduction.
I liked her quite a bit. I would have liked to have her been a little more fun because she's so much fun in Scream 4 that she has a moment with Mindy where they're talking about all their movies.
That was the best part for Kirby for me. I feel like they didn't use her as much.
Yeah. Otherwise, she's just kind of like miscellaneous cop number 4.
She's FBI.
I feel like,
she's the fucking FBI. Like Gail's like, what are you, a child?
Kirby's a fan.
FBI.
When they had the moment where I really thought that the detective was the killer was there's a scene where he's on the phone. He's like, Kirby's, Kirby was off the force like 6 months ago. She's gone rogue. I thought, no, he's just saying that. And he's now the killer.
Or when you ran out of the apartment, just fake crying. Oh God, my daughter. Oh no. Oh,
did you think it was fake at the time?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I've known since casting it was him. Come on, guys. I'm just in there with the mentality that he's the killer, and then he was.
I thought it was maybe just not a strong-ish performance because I did like that he's just like, we're gonna go kill them all.
Yeah.
But it's also like there's so many red herrings that you don't really know what to think in these films.
And he's like, of course it's me.
Like,
and then he got a little zany when he was revealed, right?
They always have to. They always have to get zany. I think to mix up the trope, they have to have a Scream film that ends with the person like not like freaking out and not all of a sudden becoming the Joker.
Right.
Like that'd be a twist.
It would be a twist, but I feel like you got to be a little fucking zany.
Yeah.
To pull pull all that shit off.
But wouldn't it be creepier if you were like Hannibal Lecter about it all?
Oh
That
yeah,
would.
Just like
That
super
would.
cold
Very
and-
meticulous.
meticulous
Yeah.
and cold. Yeah.
Maybe
So-
that'll be the final killer. That'll be the stew reveal when it's all said and done, right?
I think it has to be one more film to set up Sam and where she turns and is a killer. And then it has to be where they collide, Sydney versus Sam in Scream 8.
Yeah.
And Stu is the referee.
Like Freddy versus Jason.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
So what do you think of the museum?
The set piece?
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah. I think it was it was a lot of fun. It was cool seeing
I liked
just all the love for the franchise.
Yeah, love for the franchise. I loved Sam's moment with her dad and the dad's robe and taking dad's knife, putting on dad's mask. That was all really cool. I really want her to go full psycho.
I really liked that they revealed that Richie had been making his own stab home movies.
I love that.
That's another
was
thing
cute.
I want to rewatch, because the best thing they did was at the end. It was the Ghostface mask on fire over like the credit.
Yeah,
that was like
written and directed by.
Yeah, written and directed by Richie. And that's totally just like every film school student does the thing where something is on fire at the end.
Yeah,
you know?
that's funny.
Yeah.
Favorite kills. Do you guys have a favorite kill that stands out?
I would, before I say that, I would like to say there's a lot of orifice kills. There was
in
there
holes.
wasn't just stomach or back. There was a lot of in the ear, in the eye, in the mouth, in the fucking nose.
Up the mouth.
Up the mouth was a good one.
Yeah.
I liked when she killed the dad, when she was just, and mostly just because she was like,
at first I didn't know what she was doing, but then she was just stabbing around his vest.
Oh, yep. I noticed that too. Yeah.
That was really cool.
And she would just like, and when she just like fucking ran at him, and she was like, all right, let's go. Yeah. And she just, instead of running the other way, she just hauls right straight and like jumps on him like a spider and just starts. Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, it was also just great when Sam's holding Tara and they have their moment and she's just like, just let me go. And she gives her the knife and she just,
that was badass.
Yeah. And then right in the mouth.
And then she mouth fucks him.
Oh, yeah.
Sensually. There's a moment where she was enjoying that.
And she's like, you're going to die a virgin.
Yeah.
There was a moment where she's like, I kind of get
a little
why
bit
my
of
sister
a little
was
bit
like,
of Wednesday
okay.
creeped in there when she was doing that.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
What was your favorite kill?
Oh, definitely the mouth, the knife through the mouth.
Was it?
That one was
for sure.
really cool.
That's cool.
But
it was
but
really good. Yeah.
You know, once again, it's like they've made just stabbing someone in the gut like way more brutal than it ever was in the entire series.
Yeah.
And some of that sound design, but you know, they somehow keep
good.
pulling it off. They need to make a movie where no one gets stabbed in the gut, because there was a moment earlier on, and I'd have to go back to see Scream 5, but Chad has his shirt off. And the first thing I was looking at was like, where's his stab wounds?
Yeah.
And I didn't see any.
He got stabbed in the leg.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, I wasn't
Yeah.
sure. Well, I just assumed everyone in this series has been stabbed in the like abdomen like 8 times.
Yeah, for
well,
sure.
now he has. So he'll
Kirby got stabbed in the same spot
Same
again.
spot. Yeah. Yeah, that was hilarious.
I mean,
was it the same knife?
It was.
It was
the same knife
in the same spot.
place.
That's really funny.
That was fun.
I think my favorite kill, one that stands out, was the bouncing off the trash can.
Oh yeah, it was just.
Oh, yeah,
that one was
from
brutal.
the ladder, just.
Yeah.
Oh, and her face.
And then you get to see her face afterwards. That was really fun for. It wasn't a stab, so it was interesting in that. I liked that one. That one was cool.
Yeah.
I liked that this time they sometimes when they're going after them and they kind of escape, they seemed more aggressive.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, not that the other ones
the Ghostface,
weren't. They seemed more like just fucking.
Well, Ghostface himself was just like totally way more bulked up than you'd ever seen him. There was moments where you saw a smaller Ghostface too.
Which would be Quinn.
Yeah.
Well, there is. I mean, so spoilers if you haven't seen the movie Sick on Peacock. I think that's what it was, written by Kevin Williamson.
Mm-hmm.
But this had similarities with Family.
Right.
And I wonder how far Kevin Williamson, like how much he had input on this, but did those two similar things, just family
true,
getting revenge, and I think it was the same amount of family members. It was like
there was
a parent and then two children.
No, it was the mom and dad, and Sick it was mom and dad, and then the kid.
It just stood out in my head. Anyways, back to Scream 6.
So what do you think about Gail being Gail being?
I thought she was gonna die for a second.
I think I grabbed your hand and I was like, okay, I know I don't. I said I wanted her to die.
I want her to die, and then she's like, oh God, don't die.
Don't die, Gail.
Yeah. Well, rewatching Scream 5, like it was, and I saw it in theaters twice and saw it, on streaming several times, but. Yeah, like watching again, like leading up to this, like it was really emotional with Dewey, more so than other times.
We shouldn't have lost Dewey.
I'm mixed. I want him back. I definitely want him back, and he will be back in Scream 7 as a ghost. That is an official prediction that I'm making.
Calling it now.
I was surprised that we didn't get him in some form. I was expecting, honestly, to get like a video of him doing the rules like Randy did. I thought we would have got something from him.
No, Mindy just gets that.
We only got we saw the picture that he had on in his trailer of the two of them on her nightstand in her apartment. And then when we saw his badge and a drawing of him. Yeah, in the museum. But did they say who did the drawings? Everybody had
it was Richie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was fast.
Those drawings were really cool.
Yeah. They were. They did a little nod to Dewey. I think it was Gale. I can't remember what characters.
The music comes on.
It was Dewey's theme song. Doom, 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 doom. Yeah, that was cute.
Did you think that the cop was going to be like the new lovable? Because they have a moment where they're just like, oh, you're just going to find another lovable Dewey to Gale. Did you think the cop might become that as like the replacement Dewey?
No.
I didn't. I just thought from the get-go, motherfucker's a killer. Yeah. Dilmont berries.
Yeah. Dingleberries.
But he was great in it.
Yeah. He was good.
I like him. He's a lot of fun.
The only flaw that stuck out that's kind of in my mind for the film is there's a weird thing where Gail's back for like just a moment, and she's like the stuck-up reporter who shoves the microphone in their face. And there's like a fun, like fan servicey moment where Sam tries to punch her, but then Tara does.
Yeah.
And I didn't believe that. That just felt like, I don't know. I felt like they had to do that because then the scene later, Gail comes up. She's like, guys, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I want to help you with this. And then it's pretty much all forgiven.
I think there were, watching it, there were a couple of moments like that where I felt like it was more fan service than I can't remember exactly what that was, but I remember feeling that a couple times, but I was okay with it. And I bet, if you're someone who's just seen 5 and 6, you might not pick up on those and they might just think it's the movie,
right?
Kind of thing.
I would have been, if Gail had died, I think I would have been really disappointed in the way her portrayal was. If she had died, I think it's fine kind of as it is, but I want more Gail in the film. If this is her send off, I'm sure maybe she comes back briefly. But I mean, in a world where they don't go back for Nev Campbell and they don't go back for Gail, at least for right now, because now they have a successful series and they might just keep banking on these stars, and they have Jenna Ortega, like the biggest star in the world.
Yeah, definitely.
Like they don't have to, get Courtney Cox or Nev Campbell.
That would be sad.
It would be sad. We'll see. It'll take Scream 6 down a notch because Gail's portrayal isn't as good.
No, yeah, they kind of just make her into the bitchy reporter again.
Yeah.
But the conversation she was having on the phone with Ghostface, or not really a conversation, but when he was like, you've always been sidelined, you've never been in the spotlight.
That was good.
So maybe she can get in the spotlight more for another film. Maybe she has a more prominent role. I think that would be fun.
I mean, she's gotten hurt. This is the worst she's ever gotten hurt, right?
Oh yeah.
Well, no, in
4 and 5. No, in 4 she got
shot in the shoulder, stabbed in the shoulder.
In 4 she gets shot in like the stomach and like kind of disappears for just a little bit. Or no, she's
her and Jill.
She's in the barn. She's in the barn. She gets stabbed.
Yeah, because that's how Dewey was like. How you guys have twin ones? Yeah.
But definitely in 5, her and Sydney both get kind of gutted in the kitchen, and she gets shot. She gets shot right away by Amber, and then she gets again stabbed in the stomach.
Didn't she get stabbed or shot in the stomach in 2?
She gets shot in 2,
yeah.
In the same
she's
spot
been shot a couple times.
But this one was brutal, especially with the glass shard.
Yeah,
like that went in. That went into like
was done.
Yeah, that was like the into the lung kind of thing.
Yeah. What do you think about her writing the book?
That was kind of just a bad character moment for me. The fact that like, because the best line I think in Scream 5, or one of the best lines, is when she says like, "Oh yeah, I'm never gonna write about these guys. They're gonna die without anybody knowing."
Yeah, and then she wrote the book,
and she's like, "I'm gonna write a story about a nice sheriff." And that's like a beautiful, it's a cool line and a beautiful moment. And then it's just like,
and they ruin it. Yeah, I agree.
Well, I mean, who knows? Maybe the sheriff could be a prominent part in that book.
No,
but I mean, thinking about her character, she's always done that, right? She's always done a story. Yeah. She's always sold movie rights. She's always helped save the day.
So there is room for, even though she's always saved the day, there might be room for like a final like redemption, for lack of a better word. Like maybe, I don't know, maybe they find a way to make Scream 7 all about her character.
Yeah, well, she does need a redemption, I think, after this, for sure.
Because I feel like they tried to make her into the Gale from 1.
Yeah,
because briefly, because even Sam was like, people think I'm a killer because you put in your fucking book that like she's psych or whatever she said about her being unhinged or something like that. Like, are you kidding me, lady? Like, and that's kind of like Sydney. She's like, Sydney was a liar. Yeah. And that whole like, I think they were trying to like make it a nod, but it really did fall. Cause you're right. It really was good when she's like, I'm not writing a fucking book about these assholes. Yeah. Like they killed Dewey. And then you turn around and then you write a fucking book about these assholes.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I'd have to rewatch it again. Yeah. So maybe that's a negative too. But it didn't bring the movie down. It didn't bring her character down for me. It was just weird, right?
Yeah.
It was just
it's something that's always going to bug me.
Yeah.
Or like like her Dewey died and she went into a spiral and then she went back to her old ways because that's how she coped, because that was her coping mechanism.
Yeah. And it's also weird because they say it's been less than a year. I think they say something like that, or it's been
a year.
Yeah.
Just at least a year.
Yeah. Cause they said they moved 6 months after they started summer quarter 6 months ago. And now it's October. So I think it's technically, it might be less than a year.
Yeah.
They might have gone literally, like if they were in high school in part 5, then they graduated, started school right away in the summer. And now it's basically 2 months into the regular school year.
Right.
So there's a world where it's only like, I don't know, less than 8 months or so.
Right. Yeah.
Come on, internet sleuths, figure it out.
I don't think it was that long. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thinking a little bit more about the Kirby thing, I bet like if that was just written as it's an extra cop, like you'd be fine. I felt like the script was written like, let's see if we can get Kirby, and then you just tailor that role a little bit to her.
Yeah.
I would have liked to have seen her do a little bit more in it.
What do you think about the red herring, having her like they tried to like
I didn't
make
buy
her?
I didn't a single bit. Yeah.
It would have been. I didn't buy it either, but it would have, while I was watching, I thought it would have been interesting to see where they're going to flip it if Kirby's the killer. Now, but here's an interesting thought. There was rumors. I don't think there's been a couple of official things that the director said, but there was at one point a version of the story that Sydney was involved in this, and then they wrote her out. I don't know if it was a full script or not, because I don't think anybody would really commit to writing a full script without contract signed for Nev Campbell to return. But where would Sydney fit in? I think it'd have to be a pretty different story unless she literally just shows up after like the first or second kill just to like, help out.
Well, unless she would have had like kind of the role Kirby had, but maybe not as FBI. Maybe she shows up and is working with that cop.
Yeah.
So then,
I mean, because like no one knows these killers better than Sydney, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
And their motivations.
I don't know.
Trying to think.
It's curious. I know the story will come out at some point, but I'm curious what'll be said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had another idea, but it just left my brain.
It'll come back.
Yeah.
Trust me, we'll be doing a Scream 7 prediction podcast next year.
We will. Okay. One person I did think could have been the new boyfriend.
Oh, yeah.
He was suspicious.
Yeah.
Like I thought because of the build and how fast this killer is running.
Yeah.
I thought he fit that bill. So there's like, okay, it could be him. If I'm wrong about Dilbert Berries,
Dingleberries.
It's that guy.
Yeah.
But it wasn't.
I never thought it was.
Yeah.
Only because I really didn't think they would recycle her boyfriend or her love interest doing it again and kind of throw it back to 2 where she was like had that moment where it was like, it's your boyfriend again. You know, I just didn't think at all.
I thought that actor was kind of cool too. Just the way he gets real serious and he's just like, trust no one.
Yeah.
It was definitely kind of a red herring, but I also kind of took it as like he actually cares about Sam
for sure.
And he's just like don't mess with
Even he's like, don't trust me, don't trust the cops, don't trust fucking no one. And then when he was there at the end and he's like, I told you, like, and when she was like, I'm sorry, you can't go in, and he didn't he goes, okay, I get it, like I totally get it, I'll be out here waiting, like if you need me, like text me,
that was cool.
So I did like that she had that at the end, and he was like giving her updates on everybody else, and no.
Well, if you guys have anything else to talk about, should we break and then tally up our points and see who has the most predictions? Or
let's
all right, let's do it.
All right, we'll be back in a few.
And we're back.
We're back. Scores tallied from our
Scream predictions
from
our previous
for this
episode.
And we don't know. Sean knows the scores. We don't.
We
have awards here that our kid James made.
Fantastic.
Ghostface. We have gold, silver, and bronze.
All a little bit different,
which are pretty cool.
One for each killer in Scream 6.
Right?
So, Sean, we'll go with third, right?
Third place, and I think we should go off of a percentage, right?
Okay.
Not actual
geek shit.
Because you and me both made like 40-some predictions.
Yeah, for sure.
So in third place with 23% right was me, 8.5 out of 37 predictions.
I get the bronze. You get the bronze.
Yeah, here we go. There we go.
Beautiful.
And okay, so
drum roll.
There is one of you. This is going to be like one of those the weakest link things where they keep going to commercial, and we'll find out after this commercial break. One of you got 4.5 out of 17 predictions, and the other got 10.5 out of 41 predictions.
Ooh.
Now, anyone with fast math will know.
Neither one of us.
Know that
I think
it is a tie.
It is a tie
for 26%.
How is that? Okay. How do we split? Do we cut these in half?
You know what?
So I will let you decide then. Would you like
I'll let you decide. Do you want to win? That's
Do you
that's
wanna
like
win?
the best thing that says about your marriage. Just like let my wife decide.
Let my wife
decide who the winner is.
Here's what you're gonna get the gold because you totally picked the killer. You called the killer.
All right. Yep.
And I will take this.
Dermot Mulberry for the award.
Yes.
These are so fantastic.
These are super cool.
His name is Dermot Mulrooney.
Dermot Mulrooney.
Yes.
Dermot Mulrooney.
Yeah.
I'll get it. I swear to God.
You totally will get it. But I mean, you called the killer.
I'm the king of Scream.
I just would like to say
the
whole
this
time.
Is gold. I'm just going to say it's gold. Yeah.
The whole time I was like, they're going to college, and you just kept not believing me.
So
That's
here's
so
the
dumb.
thing. If
all of them went to college.
If either of you had made one less or one more prediction, it would have
been clear. Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, we're pretty close. We're pretty close. Yeah.
But you called the killer, so we'll give it to you. I'll give it to you.
That's what put me over is calling the killer.
Yeah.
You know what I want just for myself for the next one? I want to not be able to predict it through casting. That's how I've done the last two.
Agreed.
I'm like I land on it's an actor that can do both, that I've seen do both in film, that can ride the middle, that can go good, that can go bad, and they're really good at that. I just want to be surprised.
Yeah.
I would like to see someone that when they do get cast, you're like, okay, that's totally not a killer, and then just and have them do something like this is their role, that they do something completely opposite of what they've always done.
Yeah.
That would be fun to see.
Yeah.
Like Malcolm Jamal Warner.
Malcolm Jamal Warner. What?
He's never played the murderer in a Scream film.
You are correct.
Yeah.
He has not.
That's my prediction.
The killer's going to be Doug E. Doug.
This is why I always get third place, because I come up with those type of predictions.
But I'll tell you what, you had super fun predictions.
You
So
did have
you had
super
the
fun
most
predictions.
fun out of all three of us. You had the most fun predictions.
I did.
So-
You get the fun award.
I'd like to think that I'm the winner on the inside.
yeah.
At all times.
We're all winners here.
So what would
Not really.
you
I won.
like to see? Well, technically we tied and I gave it to you, so it's fine.
Yeah.
What would you like to see in 7?
I want to see a definitive ending to a story. It's obviously going to continue to Scream 8 at some point, but I'd love there to be a definitive ending to Sam and Tara's story. And then we can go off to different characters after that if we have to. I just think it'd be fun to wrap them up versus like all of a sudden it's 2027 and they're coming back again for Scream 9 and they're like, you know, they don't need to keep letting the characters just go on and on and on. Not that I haven't enjoyed it, but you know, like I said, if this was Gail and Sydney's last films, I'll be a little disappointed. Or, you know, Sydney's never mentioned again, I'll be disappointed. But, you know, in 10 or 15 years from now, they'll definitely bring her back. Because they'll offer a whole bunch of money when they reboot the whole franchise again. But I'd love if they could close out a story and really just have this definitive kind of like ending. Which never happens in horror. And again, I have 3rd place, so I probably won't be correct.
Just want to throw this out there. It's currently sitting at a 7.6 out of 10. So you're close. You said everything lands at a 7.3.
Everything on IMDb is so unreliable for everything, except for if you want to find out who the cinematographer of the film was.
Well, you know, even that, like, so my brother, he's been doing like film stuff with me here and there. He's not an actor. He's not involved in it, but he'll come on set and he'll do something. He was the man under the mask in the last thing we did. But anyways, he's like wrongly credited as like being the director of photography for like a film in Australia.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And you're like credited for being on the Double Jeopardy film.
And we've literally like as jokes added friends onto films that they never worked on.
That's so really funny.
But every film on IMDb becomes like a 7.3 because all these people put it out of 10. It can be the best film in the world. And everybody's like, no, that sucks. Shawshank Redemption. More like Stupid Shank Redemption. I'm going to give it a 0. And then, you know.
Where do you want the franchise to go from here? Or where do you see it going?
Space. No.
Don't you say that. Yeah. So just a reference, Scream 5 sits at a 6.3. So Scream 6 is currently higher. But it just came out. So
I want to see Sam struggle more with the whole, like, there's a killer inside of me, because she's not her father, but she's got better knife skills than her father, quite frankly. Yeah. Her father didn't stab people like that.
No, she's...
So, I kind of would like to see, this be her villain story. That would be fun.
Yeah.
And like Sydney has to come in and take her out. I mean...
Yeah, I would like to see, like you said, a resolution with some storyline. And I think the resolution I want to see, even in the next film, is what she decides with her father and Billy, to just completely get rid of it forever, the Billy part of her, or to, you know, go full villain.
Right.
And then whatever that does with her and her sister. God, that's hard. I feel like that needs a couple films to flush out, though, you know?
Yeah, I mean, if it's done right in the next one, you know, maybe. But I don't know. Maybe we're going to see the 3rd chapter of Sam and Tara's, and then they don't do anything for 11 years again, like they did between Scream 3 and 4. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh my gosh, we're back to Woodsboro, and Sam's the old character coming back to town.
Well, I guess the beauty of taking it to New York, and then maybe if you take it somewhere else too, like then coming back home to Woodsboro would feel something. And that's just where I want the series to end. I want it to end back with Sydney. I want it to all come back to her.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the ultimate ending that I want to see. And I think if they did that, they could free up to other stuff. Like, they don't need to do that because they did it with this, but you know what I'm trying to say? Something like that.
It's still it's one ongoing story.
Yeah.
It'll be a while before they ever actually cut all ties and just like start fresh. I don't know. I don't know if they really... could 100%, because even Sam and Tara's story is directly tied into Sydney's.
Right. And like, I mean, Stu could like bring Sydney and Sam and like, he masterminds them all in one place.
We got a lot of Stu stuff in this, and the TV kill at the end.
Right, the TV kill at the end, and Kirby's like, I saw that in a scary movie once.
Yeah.
I suggest for a spin-off film is everything Stu, who is alive, everything that Stu's been up to for the last 25 years.
Yeah.
That would be cool. Like you could just maybe he went off on some totally other different story. Maybe he like maybe he had a whole redemption arc that we don't know about. He got put into FBI like witness protection, because then like later
this is a series.
You can bring in Kirby, because
Right.
she's an FBI, so she'll be able to like be in whatever Stu Stab 3.
Stu Stab 3.
Yeah, there'll be a whole trilogy.
Yeah. I mean, if we're going with this, I wouldn't mind a prequel of them killing Sydney's mother,
Right.
with like other people to play those young parts.
Yeah.
And you just lead it connected into like the opening of Scream 1.
And
Like you go
Lance
up until the Drew Barrymore part.
Yeah. Bring Lance Hendrickson back, because he played,
Lance
the
Hendrickson,
studio executive.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
A young Lance Hendrickson.
Just the de-aging stuff, like
That would be fun.
Sam Jackson and Captain Marvel.
That was really good.
Yeah.
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 Well,
All
you guys
right.
have anything else we want to talk about?
I think it's going to be crazy that we're going to be doing this next year.
Yeah, I know. Let's
Like
do this
3
every
years in
year.
a row.
Forever.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's pretty great.
Well, if you stuck around, you've seen Scream 6. So what do you guys think? Do you think it's awesome? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Somewhere in the middle? Where do you think it fits in with the franchise?
Are you rating it 7.3 on IMDb? Are you going to go to Rotten Tomatoes and review bomb it because you don't like that it has strong female characters in it?
Right? Was it too woke for you?
Yeah.
oh
yeah,
my
yeah.
God.
Anyways, I won. Our Bloody Marys are pretty much dead.
I made it to the podium at least.
And so are we. They all lost. Bye.